As a mayor, I'll open this public hearing and come back to the council members.
At a recent Oceanside City Council meeting, about 40 people spoke, and most of them were opposed to the idea of dividing their city into council districts.
I am completely against the districting. I don't want one member of the city council representing me. I want the entire city council representing me. If you divide your citizens into districts, then you divide the city and you divide its citizens. All of you should represent all of us.
But at the end of the night, the council voted 3-2 to make the change to district elections.
I don't see a win in it for us.
Councilman Jerry Kern cited a letter the city had received threatening a lawsuit under the California Voting Rights Act if it did not make the change to district elections within 90 days.
I understand what you guys want, and I've been with you all the time. But at the bottom line is, I have to protect the assets of the city. So I'm going to support this, even though I don't want to.
Other California cities, Modesto and Palmdale, have each spent more than $3 million of public money in fines and legal fees after failing to fight the change to district elections. The attorney who won those suits and sent the letter to Oceanside is Kevin Schenkman, acting on behalf of the Southwest Voter Registration Project, a Latino voting rights organization. Schenkman says he is simply enforcing the California Voting Rights Act on behalf of minorities disenfranchised by citywide elections.
The city councils end up only needing to cater to their base, and that often results in the minority communities not getting their share of services and not having anyone on the city council that they can go to with their problems.
A quiet revolution is happening in the way that local officials are getting elected. The California Voting Rights Act, passed in 2001, created the tools to force cities to change from at-large to district-wide elections. But only now is the momentum taking off.
The city of San Diego, with 1.3 million people, has elected its city council members by district since 1988. But until 5 years ago, all other residents in the county voted for their city council members at large. That began to change in 2012 when Chula Vista moved to district elections after a public vote. Escondido followed, and El Cajon, San Marcos, Vista, Oceanside, and Carlsbad. But these 5 North County cities were all threatened with legal action if they did not make the change. Escondido Mayor Sam Abed, a Republican, is still angry. He says the city already had a Latina on the council.
So what's wrong with Escondido? Nothing. It's just nothing but a political game. The politicians are using the districts to make sure they give the minorities an advantage over the regular residents. There is no need to create a district.
Abed says district elections may work for bigger cities, but for cities like Escondido, which has about 150,000 residents, it could lead to turf wars.
It becomes a tribal approach. I don't like it.
So far, district elections have not changed the makeup of Escondido City Council. The incumbents all won re-election last year.
I'm just urging people to please go to the meetings.
But Oceanside City Councilwoman Esther Sanchez, who supports the change, says she thinks voting by district will eventually make a difference.
I do believe that district elections will bring us more democracy to our elections. I do believe that our neighborhoods will finally be better represented.
Sanchez says more people will be able to afford to run for office.
And have real elections, not, where the incumbent can raise $100,000, $150,000 for a city council seat that only pays like $27,000 a year. So I think bringing it down closer to the neighborhood level, I think we'll have better elections, better class of candidates, and those that will truly be responsive to the community.
The criteria for drawing the district boundary lines cannot be predominantly racial.
So basically it's up to you to let us know what it is that you organize around and basically what you would need representation on.
Karen McDonald, a consultant, explained citizens can choose the boundary lines based on who shares their interests.
So how do you document a community of interest? You basically just think about the following questions. What bounds your community?
Under the threat of legal action, a city has only 90 days to draw the district boundary lines. The city of Carlsbad was the most recent to receive a letter and voted last week to make the change. But Attorney Schenkman says other, even smaller coastal cities in San Diego County can expect to hear from him soon. Allison St. John, KPBS News.